Quest 4, Prince Magnus's Gold. 3 treasure chests have been stolen while being taken to the Emperor. A reward of 240 gold coins has been offered to any group of heroes who return the chests and all of the gold. The thieves are a well-known band of orcs whose lair is in the Black Mountains. They are led by Golthar, a chaos warrior. And we are back with Prince Magnus's Gold. Now, a couple notes on this quest. There are 3 chests, and they're marked with the Prince's Royal Seal, and they're right here where it says A. And each chest is locked and contains 250 gold coins. Let's see. And other items of value to the Prince and the Emperor. Now, each hero can only carry 1 chest at a time. When carrying a treasure chest, a hero can roll 1 red die for movement. The hero cannot keep the gold inside the treasure chest. Oh, no. Well, that's kind of a rip-off. Okay. The other thing about this a little different is we've got some spear traps. And basically, the characters are going to roll to see if they can avoid the spear trap. If they get a skull on a single die, then the spear trap nabs them, I think. Let's double check here. Carefully hidden. So with the spear trap, you roll a dice, and if you get a skull, then you take a point of damage. And that's about all. Now, there's been a few changes up. We lost the dwarf and the barbarian in the last game. And so we've had to go to the inn and hire a new barbarian. And we finally chose Bikini McChainmail. And she has we bought her a +1 helmet of defense and a +1 shield. So those will add to the +2 to the defense die. We've also we've also hired a dwarf named Leadbelly Onion Breath, and he also has a helmet for +1 defense that we bought him. So hopefully they'll last a little bit longer than the last 2 jokers did. Finally, we have a healing potion for Lulubelle the elf, and Oregano the mysterious has a staff, so now Oregano can fight at a diagonal. So that'll make Oregano a little bit more powerful. And after we ran through some gold, stuff's expensive in this game, we were left with 16 gold pieces. So the party has 16. I'm just going to leave a pool of gold pieces there. It's easier than splitting it all up. So our intrepid party moves to the dungeon, and they decide to go find this gold. And let's see, we will start with the barbarian, Bikini. She's going to move up to the door. And we're going to let the mage move right here now, since the mage has that staff. Dwarf and the elf will hang back. And again, we could roll, but we really don't need to. Okay, here the barbarian, she opens the door, which alerts the goblins inside. And they go running over to attack. And they get the first attack. So we'll go back to our monster card. The goblins, guess we ought to pull up our dice. The goblins have a attack dice of 2. And they do nothing. Okay, now Bikini gets to go. And she has a attack dice of 3. And she whiffs. And then also the wizard gets to go. Now with the wizard, let's take a look at the staff here. It's a 1 combat dice, so it doesn't change anything with the wizard's attack dice, but it lets you attack diagonally, which is going to be kind of helpful here because we can stand by the side of a door and whack these guys in the head. Also, you can't use a shield, but we're going to assume wizards just can't normally use shields anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so 1 dice for the wizard, and that's a nothing. Nobody else gets to move. So we go to the second turn, and this time it's the goblins up again, and they have 2. Oh, Bikini took 2, but she's got a defense of not 2 but 4, since she's got a metal hat and a shield. So we'll give her 4, and she easily defends herself. Okay, now Bikini gets to go. She does 1 damage, and the monsters, the goblins, get a defense of 1. Doesn't do. So that goblin is out of action. But it leaves this goblin to move in. Goblin moves in. And I'm going to assume the wizard doesn't have anything to do because their goblin's already dead in the turn. So, okay, goblin gets to do an attack. Does one for B. And she is able to defend. Okay. Now B gets to go. She gets 2. That's enough to, even if the goblin saves, it's enough to kill him off. So they go walking into the room, traipsing. And we're going to say the elf looks around for any secret doors. Nothing. And we're going to say a shield lets them find it. Dwarf looks for traps. Nothing, finds nothing. And Bikini is going to look for treasure. So we draw our treasure card, and we get a potion of strength. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Okay, potion of strength is a small purple flask, strange smelling. You get 2 extra combat die if you drink it. So, and I just realized I need to save this game. And we are going to save it as, what was the name of the thing? Prince Magnus's Gold. Okay. Okay, there we go. I'm going to get a save here. Okie doke. Let's we'll put that with the barbarian here. So she now has a potion of strength. Okay, B gets to go. 2 dice. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is an interesting dungeon because it twists around so much. Okay. Next will go the dwarf. Or let's go with, no, next we're going to have the elf go. Actually, let's move the wizard into second position this time because of that staff thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dwarf goes, and 6. And finally the elf goes. Okay. Let's put on their boots of speed, move them down here, and we'll keep going. Peek through the door, and what do you know? This guy here goes, this guy here goes. Now, I'm going to say B gets attacked with an orc, and the orcs get 3 dice, so 1 for B, and she saves for that 1. Okay, now B gets to go. Bikini. She does 1 on the orc, and the orc has a defense of 2 and does not save. So this orc goes to Ramush, and that's the end of the turn. Okay, this guy goes, and moves into place, makes an attack. Oh, orcs have 3. Yeah, okay, so Bikini takes 2 and tries to save, and there's the 2. Okay, Bikini gets to go. Does a hit. The orc has a defense of 2, and that's enough to send the orc off. Okay. Moves in, and I'm going to say the dwarf steps on the pit trap. Oh no! Okay. Let's say the dwarf tries to find the pit trap. Finds it, and you say, hey, or not the pit trap, the spear trap. And so we're going to roll, and if there's a skull, the dwarf takes a point. Nope. Okay. Disarms. Let's see, the elf tries for secret doors, nothing, and Bikini looks for some treasure, and we get a potion of healing. Okay. And since B is on point, I think that's going to be good. Okay, we go up here. And I don't know, this game's kind of repetitive, but I still think it's kind of fun to sit down and just play. This is really a lot more fun to sit down and play on a table with the miniatures and getting like 4 other friends. I guess you play it with 5 people because one person kind of plays the dungeon master on it, plays the monsters, and then the other 4 play the characters. And it is a lot of fun to play it with the minis. Again, as a kid, I would have loved this. I don't know why I did not buy this game back in the day because it's pretty awesome. Okay, the orcs decide they're going to go. We do the old standard here. Orc, orc, orc. And the orc gets to attack. 2 for B. And she saves. And then B gets to go. Does 2 on the orc. And that's enough to... The orc cannot defend. Okay. Second orc steps into place. 2 on B. B saves 1. So B takes a point of damage. B gets to go. Does 2. That's enough. And we move into the next room. Dwarf checks for traps. Elf checks for secret doors. B draws a card. And, oh, a hazard. While searching, an arrow shoots from the ball. Lose 1 point. Okay. And return to treasure chest. Deck. Okay. It's probably best that B does the check because she's the strongest of the characters. And so if there's a wandering monster, it's going to attack her first. However, we want to watch and make sure that she gets healed up. Okay. She moves here. Derp, derp, derp. Okay. And let's just play this out. We have 2 choices. We can go here and check this door. Or we can go here and check this door. I'm going to say it's going to be odd for this door and even for this door. Let's just roll 1 dice. Odd for this door. Okay, it is. Okay. Peeks in. Goblins come a-running. Intruders! Die! 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 Do their little 2 attack dice. Nothing. Okay. B goes. Does 1, and the goblin tries to defend. Goblin does not. Okay. Second goblin moves into place. Does their little goblin attack. Nothing. B goes. 2. That's enough. And we move into room. Check for traps, check for secret doors, and check for random monsters. Hazard! Oh, B takes another body point of damage. Okay. Now, that's down to 5. Okay, we're still not at 4. Now we've got 2 choices. We can go odd for this door up on the top, or we can go even over here. Now this is going to get him into a little place here with lots of little traps. So we will see what we can do. Odd and even. Let's just go odd. Even. Okay, they go even, and B peeks around, sees a normal floor, and goes blump right into the pit trap. Okay. Another point of damage. And now in pits, you can treat it as a separate room. So we can check for a random monster down there. Oh, another hazard. There's an arrow trap in a pit trap. Okay. So B is down to 3. This is kind of deadly. And climbs out and runs right into a spear trap. Okay. Makes it no issues there. Disarms the spear trap, or is able to do it. And, okay, this is going to be a problem because they're going to have to jump this and get through that door. So if there was a monster in here, which there's not, there should be, because it would be really cool to have like a femur or something in here that B would be pretty much fighting one-on-one. So before B goes in, she's going to drink that potion. And that's a roll on a dice. Oh, this potion, I didn't realize that it's a 1d6, so it's a little bit better than a healing spell. Not that much better. So we'll go change BP to 5. B peeks in, sees nothing, goes on in. Okay, now everybody's got to jump it. So the wizard tries to jump it, and they can jump it with anything but a skull. Wizard jumps it, makes it over here. Okay, the dwarf comes up, sees there's a pit. The elf, Lulabelle, picks the dwarf up and tries to toss the dwarf over the pit trap. And the dwarf falls right on in, taking a point of damage. Bad toss. Climbs out, moves on. Lulabelle tries the jump, makes it, and she's across. And they've crossed this nasty little bend in the road here that's kind of gross there. Okay, they're in the room. They check for... Actually, the barbarian probably should have checked for traps first going into the room. I found some gold instead. It would have been, again, a wandering monster would have been fun in there, but that's okay. 15 gold. I'll write it down on a separate sheet of paper. Secret doors. Finds the secret door. Good job, Lulabelle. And traps, no traps. Okay, now they got to decide. Do they go to the secret door or do they go to this room? Say this is odd. This is even. Odd, okay. They do the thing. The orc attacks. And the orc doesn't do anything. Okay, the barbarian goes. Does a point of damage. And the orc gets to defend for 2. Orc doesn't make it. Okay. And then they saunter in. And when they saunter in, I'm going to say draw. Ah, jewels. Boy, they're being pretty... pretty lucky with the random monster draws. Now, the thing to remember here is the random monster on this is the femur. So it's kind of a nastier monster. Okay, everybody piles in. They do the thing. They find no secret traps. They find no treasure. Okay, they go back out here. We form the Congo line of doom. And they can move around. And I can roll all this, but we're just going to keep going around. Drip. Followed by the wizard, followed by the elf, followed by the dwarf. And again, we come to the spear trap. And the way they do traps in this isn't the best. I'm not real impressed with how it's handled traps, because you're supposed to say, well, this looks dangerous. So, which kind of defeats the purpose, but I don't know, we'll just give them a 1 out of 6. Yeah, they find it. So, can they disarm it? Let's try to disarm it. And they'll need a shield to disarm. Nope, they don't get it. So, B, Bikini, McChainmail takes 4. And at this point, we are going to have to do some healing up. So, we're going to change this to 8. And there, and they're going to have to use this corner to heal because we're in this narrow confines, but they can do that. Let's see. So the spells of the elf, the Water of Healing spell. Cast that spell, discard the card, and that is it. Okay. Now we move on down here. And do the old peep in, and 3 orcs come out. Ah! Die you shall die. Okay, Mr. First Orc goes with 3 and misses. B goes with 3 and does 3 damage, so that he can't do anything. Second Orc moves into place. These are the dumbest monsters on Earth. Oh, yeah, 3. Orcs have 3. So hits B. B saves. B behaves. B goes. B hits. And let's see, defensive 2. B hits. And the orc defends. Okay. B orc goes. Oh, no, the Oregano the Mysterious. Nope. Sorry, Oregano. You don't do anything. Okay, now the orc can go. Oh, hits B on a 3. Oh, B saves on a 3. Okay. Now B gets to go. Let's see here. B swings. B hits. 2 and B heads. Finally, Orc 3 goes with 1. Okay, there's our save, and then B goes with 2. Orc gets 1 point, and that's enough. Okay, we come back in, looking around. There's this weird-looking table. Dwarf's checking it out. The elf's checking for secret doors, and we roll our. We draw a card, Potion of Defense. 2 extra combat die. I'm going to say she hands this to the dwarf. Sorry, I'm facing the other direction there. So the dwarf will take this, because the dwarf's going to probably get us out of there. B will be down to nothing. I don't know, though. They're cleaning up on this one. And that's how this works. Usually they get a level that's fairly easy, and then a hard level, and then you kind of get enough equipment and stuff to make yourself a little more powerful, and then you kind of whoop up on levels, and then they get harder and harder, and so on. The last levels, I think, are pretty hard, if I remember when we played through this when I was a kid. So, okay. Let's go here. Peeks through the door, sees a hallway, and the orc comes down. Now the orc's like sees him peeking, and it's like, "You shall die." And we're going to treat this as a room. So the orc goes 2. B defends 2. Okay. Oh, the elf isn't there, or the oregano's not there. Okay. B does 2. Orc defends. And moves on in. Goes down the hall. Now, we've got to make a decision here. And that is, everybody goes. Are we going to go odd, north, or even? We'll go roll it and see. Even it is. Okay. B peeks in the room and sees a whole host of monsters. Now, I'm going to say Mr. Femir goes. I've been reading about the Femir online. They're kind of like a one-eyed lizard man with a club tail. Some people don't feel like it fits the game very well. I like it. I think it makes it unique. And I think the idea of having a unique monster. Now, in the newer versions, they have kind of a fish man, like a Kuatoa kind of dude. But I like this better. I think the Femir's cool. Okay. This Chaos Knight here is guarding the place, and he's like, he sends his minions forward. Forward, my minions! And the Femir gets to move first. Now, the Femir has an attack of 3. So 2, B defends, and gets 1, so B takes a point of damage. Change BP. Oh, we should have. And what we should have done is probably moved the wizard here, but we've already done it, so that's it. Okay, B goes. 2 hits on the femur. Now the femur defends with 3. Doesn't make it. Okay, that's enough to destroy the femur. Okay. They will continue to stay in the doorway. Send another monster forward. They lose the initiative, but they're not going to get rushed, so that's good. Let's see here. Orc goes. Okay, Orc goes with 3. Ooh, 3 on B. She saves for 2, but she takes 1 point of damage. She's at a 6. Okay. Then Bikini goes. Does 2 on the Orc. Orc gets defensive 2. Doesn't save. Okay, then he goes, Goblin, you shall go next. So the Goblin goes. And actually, I'm thinking that the Dungeon Master could probably be better with the monsters. I think they can use the monsters any way they want, so they could just sit here and wait for each other and stare at each other, but... Okay, Goblin. Goblin goes, attack of 2. B goes, attack of 3. Goblin goes, attack of 2 with a hit on each one. B tries... Oh, B doesn't make it. B takes 2 points of damage from a Goblin. Ouch. Okay, uh-oh, and we've got a problem here. Got a wizard that is... The wizard... It should have been the healing elf. The elf's kind of the cleric in this group. I'm going to say B's going to move out of the way. Wizard's going to throw a spell. Yeah, we're going to do that. Wizard's going to throw a spell. Wizard's going to move into place, block, throw a spell. I'm going to let the elf work across that diagonal. They can reach around the corner and throw a spell. So, okay, Wizards throws Ball of Flame, and it'll inflict 2 body points. So we roll 2, and each 5 or 6, the damage is reduced by 1. Okay. Okay, that easily gets rid of the Goblin. Okay, then player inventory. We want the elf. Do another spell, another barbarian saving spell. So 8. Okay, and then it's up to the evil dudes. We'll send an orc in. Okay, orc's going against the elf. No, the wizard. The wizard. Okay, so the orc is fighting with a plus. It has 3 dice, and the elf defends at 2. So 3. That does 1. The elf defends at 2, so that's okay. Now, the elf goes. Where are you, elf? And going to cast another spell. I'm sorry, not the elf, the wizard. Ball of Flame. Let's do it again. Well, no, wait. Fire of Wrath. This spell cast on any one monster. It inflicts 1 body point of damage unless the monster can immediately roll a 5 or 6. Now this one, the spell may be cast on any one monster. It'll inflict 2. I don't know whether this one's worth it or not. Okay, well, my little brain isn't figuring this out. Anyway, let's try it. Let's just roll a... Oh, 2 6s. Okay. So the orc saves. Okay, Mr. Orc goes. Does 2 damage. Elf saves. Does not save. Okay, the wizard. I'm sorry, I keep calling it the elf. It's the wizard. The wizard has a 4 body, so now is at 2. Okay, and so then Bikini can't do anything. The elf has thrown their last spell. I'm going to say the elf has a potion that passes the potion to the wizard, and the wizard drinks it for 2 points. Okay, that's enough. Change BP to 4 again, and then the wizard, or no, then the orc can go. Does 2. So that does 1 point damage to the elf, or to Oregano the Mysterious. 3. Okay. Then we're back to scooching around. I think at this point we're going to have to move in. Once we get that orc taken care of, well, we can attack and move in this game, I think. So, okay, so we're going to do the attack and then move. I've only got to die 1. Okay, let's throw another spell. So Oreganos throws Ball of Flame, and that eliminates the monster. And then Oregano can go 12. So the Oregano's going to go blip over here. And then next in line is the elf. The elf is going to move and cast. And the elf is going to cast Sleep. That puts a monster in a deep sleep so it cannot attack or defend itself. This spell can be broken at once or on a future turn by the monster rolling 1 red die for each of its mind points. If a 6 is rolled, the spell is broken. Okay. Discard the sleep. So we're going to do that on the Chaos Lord. Now the Chaos Lord has 3 mind points. Does not save. So the Chaos Lord is asleep. The Goblin, however, is still there. The Dwarf comes waddling in. And the Dwarf can move. Okay, the Dwarf's going to move against the Goblin. And let's see. The Dwarf has attack of 2. Doesn't do anything. Okay. That is it for their move. Now the Goblin gets to go. Goblin has an attack of 2. Does 1. The Dwarf now has a... Since the Dwarf's now wearing an iron hat, they have a defense of 3. Defends. Okay, so that's it for their round. Now we'll start with the Barbarian. 8. Okay. Goes up here and will attack. And attack the Sleeping Chaos Knight. Okay, the Chaos Warrior. So the Barbarian has 3. Does 2 damage. The Chaos Lawyer defends at 4. Doesn't defend. So 2 points for the Chaos Lawyer. Okay. Next, gonna throw a spell from Oregano the Mysterious. We'll throw Tempest on the Chaos Lawyer. So the Chaos Lawyer can still try to wake up, but they're not going to be able to do anything. The elf will move into place. Does 1. The Chaos Lawyer tries to defend and defends. Okay. And then the orc doesn't do anything to the goblin. Okay, now the Chaos Lawyer has 3 on their mental points. So there's the 6. So the Chaos Lawyer wakes up but cannot fight this round. The goblin gets 1 on the orc, and the orc can defend, and the orc does. Okay, end of round. Next round, Bikini goes with 3, misses. The elf goes with 2, misses. The dwarf goes with 2 and hits, and that'll kill the goblin. Okay, and then the Oregano the Mysterious is going to throw a ball of flame at the Chaos Lawyer. And we roll 2. 2 and 2. So it does. The Chaos Lawyer does not save, and that kills the Chaos Lawyer. And that is it. Okay, so then they can drag these out. Now, there's no monsters out. Oh, we got to do something. Ha-ha! There we go. Wandering Monster. And we forgot that. It's a Femur. So let me get a Femur out. And the Femur attacks the bee. Now, Femurs have 3 attack die. Nothing. Okay. Party gets to go. Bee goes first. It's a 3. She does 1. And Femurs defend 3. They defend. Okay. The elf goes. Lulabelle does 1. The Femur again tries to defend and defends. Okay, the dwarf waddles up. Doesn't do anything. And then the Oregano is going to cast another Fire of Wrath. So 1 body point, unless they roll a 5 or 6. 4. Nope. Okay. Femur takes 1. Okay, now it's the Femur's turn, and the Femur attacks with 3 against the bee. Does 1. Bee tries to defend and does. Okay. Then bee goes. Does 1. Femur defends at 3. There's our defense. Okay. Lulabelle goes. Misses. Dwarf goes. Misses. And Oregano will use the last Fire of Wrath. Rolls a 3, does 1, and sends the Femur off. That's it for the Femur. Okay. And that is it for the game. Then they just have to haul all those out. And I guess we could roll 1 dice to get them all to haul it out. But I think you guys get the point. So I think we'll go ahead with that. And that ends this session. Quest 5, Melar's Maze. Long ago, a powerful wizard by the name of Melar created a talisman of lore which would enhance the wearer's understanding of magic. It is rumored that Melar hid the talisman in an underground laboratory at the heart of his maze, fearing it might be stolen by the evil minions of Zargon. As you search for the talisman, beware of many traps and deadly monsters. Okay, I'm back. Because of the way I make these videos, it's been 7 months, I think, since I did this last one, so there's a really huge gap. What seems like about 2 seconds in my actual video was a 7-month period. So basically, I've had to reproduce most of this game and most of the heroes, so kind of got them back together here. I've still got Bikini McChainmail, and then Lulabelle the Elf. Oregano the Magnificent is the Mysterious is the Wizard, and then what was his Onion Breath? What was his name? Leadbelly Onion Breath, the dwarf fighter. So that is my party. And like I say, we are doing Melar's Maze. And so the whole point of this is to try to get down here and eliminate these guys in the center. Now, I play this solitaire, so I just kind of have to pretend that the party's really dumb when I'm doing this. I also tried to put together the player's original, what equipment they had. I'm maybe off a little bit, so if you're following this and you see something that's a little off, I may have missed some equipment or a spell or a magic item or something, but for the most part, I think I was able to reproduce it. It's like I say, it's been a while. But let's go ahead and play. Enough of the prelude. One thing about the movement on this is my buddy Meandering Mike and his Man Cave of Madness suggested that on the movement, I just give everybody a standard movement of 7, except for the dwarves, who have a movement of 5, and then anybody wounded would also have a movement of 5. And that means you don't have to do this rolling and shuffling around, which makes the game go a lot more smoothly. And so thanks, Mike, for suggesting that. I will follow that, at least this time. We'll see how it goes, but I think I'm going to like that. Okay, we got the dungeon together here, and let's go ahead and get my B. Arthur-esque barbarian going. I really love using AI to make ridiculous-looking characters, using second-rate celebrities to do it. So, okay, so B is going to go here, and then I'm going to roll to see whether if we go odd for up and even for down. So let's just roll 1. Even it is. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the dwarf will go lead belly, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now my wizard now has oregano, has a magic staff. Not a magic staff, just a regular staff. So I need to keep oregano up there so that they can also fight, because staffs can fight through corners, which is kind of handy. Okay, first turn, that was it. Real easy. We'll go to second turn, and we'll have B go there. I think I'll move oregano. Now, he can go over. You can move past him, so they'll move past each other. So now I have oregano kind of helping out there on the corner. And there. And then we peek open the door, and there's nothing in there. So what we'll do is we'll go through the... we'll send the lead belly in to take a look around, and lead belly does a quick look for traps, does not find any. Lulabelle goes in looking for secret doors, and now the secret door is kind of special here. Let's see what it says. The secret door for Melar's Maze is, this is area E. If a hero searches for secret doors, they will find nothing on either side of the wall. However, if a hero searches for treasure, they will find Melar's key. Upon touching it, the key will disappear, and the throne will slide sideways, revealing a secret door. Well, let's just kind of figure out what... Oh, and our wandering monster is a zombie in this, so gotta remember that. Okay, let's get back to it. I don't know, let's give it an odd and even. Odd, they find the secret door, even they don't. Let's roll it. And a 2. They do not find the secret door. So they make the long march backwards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there they go. Okay. Party's kind of split up there a little bit, but it'll be okay. Now, another question I always had is, what about line of sight in this? Does this mummy down here see all the way down? I'm going to say they do. This dungeon has fluorescent lights, so he sees the movement down here. Now, a mummy has a movement. Let's see, where's our monsters? Where are you at, monsters? Okay, monster cards. A mummy has a movement of 4, so I'll give the mummy a chance to move. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the barbarian will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the barbarian and the mummy are rushing headlong at each other. So they're not going to pay attention to this trap here. 1, 2, 5. 6, 7, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the dwarf will be left waddling behind, and then the mummy gets to go, and then B gets to go, and bam, a block falls on B's head. So with a falling blocks, you roll 3 die, and any skull will be a hit on B. 2 hits, ouch. Okay, and B jumps backward. You could either jump this way or this way, but if she jumps this way, she's going to be cut off from the party. So we'll change the BPs down to 6. Okay, there we go. I'll get those out of the way. And the mummy's left with a block. He just stumbling along there. Okay, so now we'll move in and we will get ready to open a new door. Let's move our dwarf here. So everybody goes here and they peek in the room and they see nothing. And the first thing to do is send the dwarf in. And the dwarf does his trap check. So the dwarf is going to roll 1 die to see if they find that. They automatically find the trap, but if they get a black shield, they take a point of damage. And they do not. So the dwarf is able to get the pit trap worked around. The elf comes in, looks for secret doors, finds nothing. And then everybody else moves. And we go back and we're going to repeat this process. And the barbarian peeks, and B, she sees 3 orcs standing here. So the orcs attack. Get out of the way, humans. You shall die in Melar's maze. Ha 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 ha. God, my voice acting is terrible. And we start with combat. Now, a orc has a attack of 3 dice. So we attack with our 3. And we get 2 hits. Now, B is wearing a shield, has a shield and a hat or a helmet. So that's 4 plus 2 is 6, or 2 plus 2. I should follow up here. Okay, defensive 2. So 2 plus 2, so 4. So we've got to roll 4 die, and if we roll 2 shields, then that neutralizes. We roll 1 shield, so B takes another hit. Barbarians have a tough job being at the point in this game. Now then, B can go, and B has 3 dice to hit with the short sword, and gets 2 hits on the orc, and the orc gets to defend with 2 die, and does not. So the orc is gone, because the orc only has 1 body point. But another orc is able to shuffle up and take the first orc's place and rolls again with 3 attack die. Again, 2 hits. B tries to defend with 2, so B fully defends. B attacks with 3. Doesn't make any. And then the oregano, who's sitting in this corner here, gets to attack down on this orc. Basically push their little staff there and poke him. And that's for 1 die. So nothing. Okay. We go to the next round of combat, and the orc goes again. 3 die with 1 hit. B defends with 1 defense is okay. Then B goes with 3, making 1 hit. The orc gets 2 defense die. Nothing. So they would have needed that little black shield, didn't get it. So that eliminates this orc. Final orc comes in. These guys just kind of basically stand in line to be killed. And attacks. 3 die, making a hit. B defends with 1, that defends. Okay, B attacks with 3 die. Gets a hit on the orc, and the orc gets 2 die to defend. Does not, so that's the end of that orc. And that is the end of combat. So since it's end of combat, B gets to draw a treasure card. And gets a heroic brew. You are surprised to find a leather bag hanging on the wall. If you drink its contents before you attack, you can make 2 attacks instead of 1. This may only be used once and do not return to deck. So I will put that in Barbarian's player inventory. So basically you get 2 die instead of 1 when you attack. Good, that'll be helpful. Okay, we're going to go through the standard practice here. This guy comes in, looks for traps, no traps. Secret doors, finds a secret door. Doesn't really help any. And then Oregano will be the one looking for treasure. Let's see if there's any treasure mentioned here. Melar's Maze. A. The first hero to search for treasure will find a half-filled flask sitting on the alchemist bench, and it contains a potion of healing that will restore up to 2 lost body points. Okay. Well, I think what we will do is give that to B, and B will try to, B will swallow that potion down, and this will change it back to 7. And Barbarian is a max at 8, so we definitely need our Barbarian kept as healthy as possible. Okay, we go here, and we will... So we've explored 3 rooms. We peek open the door here, and we find a corridor. Okay, corridor, I'm going to roll to see. We'll say 1 goes over here, 2 goes over, or 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Let's just roll a die. So 3, we go here to this room. Everybody's following along, shuffling through. Peeks open the door, sees the room, sees a statue here. This is a statue, right? Okay, so everybody shuffles in. Dwarf looks for attack. Well, send the Barbarian in first. Now the Barbarian's going to just kind of wander around here. Everybody's going to come in. We search for traps, find none. Search for secret doors, find none. And there's just a statue in the room. Now, the rules say, let's see, this chamber contains a gargoyle that appears to be paralyzed. The gargoyle will not move at first and will only come to life after one of the heroes opens the door that leads into the next room. The gargoyle cannot be harmed, takes no damage until it's either moved. It is either moved or attacked a hero. So I'm going to play along. They don't notice, oh yeah, that's just a statue. So he's here. We'll say, there. Let's put the dwarf here. I like picking on the dwarf. So we will do that. And so they open the door. And there's a skeleton here. Now this pit trap is an interesting idea. The skeleton, I wonder, would he set off the pit trap? I don't know. Okay, so now the Zargon gets to go first. I mean, technically the skeleton, which can move 6 squares, would be over here and would set off the pit trap. Or there's 3 skeletons, I'm sorry. I'm going to say the skeletons do not affect the trap. Are they smart enough? They have no mind points, so we'll move him here. He's lightweight. He's just a skeleton. He's just bones. You don't have all that water mass. So I'm going to say that the skeleton does. Now, at the same time, the gargoyle is going to attack. And we'll start with the gargoyle's attack. Now, the gargoyle has attack dice of 4. This could be a rough encounter, which is 3 is going to hit the dwarf. The dwarf has a defense of 2 plus 1 or 3 because he's got a helm. So 3, we've got 3 attacks successful. Defense is 3 with 1. So the dwarf takes 2. Puts him at 5. Okay. The skeleton attacks, and a skeleton has a pretty low... Let's see, skeletons attack for 2 die. So 2 hits, B defends with 4, nothing. Okay, now the party can go. The elf will move over here. So basically these 2 are going to attack the gargoyle, and these 2 are going to attack the skeleton. So let's start with the attack on the gargoyle. Actually, let's just move Barbarian. Let's just move through order here. Barbarian has an attack of 3. So 1 hit on the skeleton. The skeleton gets to defend with 2. Nothing. So, and the skeleton has 1 hit body point. So the skeleton's gone. They can't do anything. They can't do anything. Okay, now we go to the dwarf. And the dwarf has an attack of 3. and gets 1 hit against the gargoyle. The gargoyle gets 5 defense, though. So that's easily these black shields. They always look like a walrus to me. So he's got 2 walruses that are blocking. The elf has 2 attack die, but let's see what the elf can do. We really need some magic. We're going to use slow. We're going to cast slow spell. And the slow spell is... I should have cast a spell. Reduces any one monster's movement to 1 square, and they roll 1 less combat die when they attack or defend. Monster's movement and combat die cannot be less than 1, and the effects last until the monster is killed or out of line of sight. So, that's pretty handy. So, the elf has cast a spell. We went with the dwarf. I guess that since he's... The wizard could cast a spell. Let's see what the wizard's got. Let's cast a ball of flame. So the wizard cast a ball of flame on the gargoyle. And it'll inflict 2 points of damage. If they roll a 5 or 6, then it's reduced to 1. So we roll a single die, and it is a 5. So it is reduced to 1 point of damage. We discard that, and the gargoyle is changed to 2. Okay, I think that's the party's gone. Now the skeleton will move. Okay, so the gargoyle will go first against the dwarf. Let's pull our monster card back. And attacking with 4 die. So 3 hits against the dwarf. Ouch. But they actually have 1 less. Let's do it again. So 3 die. So 1 hit. Okay. Now the dwarf will take... the dwarf defends for 3. And defends. Okay. And the dwarf is defended. Then the skeleton gets to attack. A skeleton has 2. 1 hit. And the barbarian makes that defense. Okay, now it's time for the barbarian to go. Barbarian casts 3, gets 2 hits. Skeleton has a defense of 2. Nothing, so that skeleton is gone. Okay, and then I think we're going to cast another spell. Yeah. I don't know, we've got... Should we cast, or should we wait? I think I'll cast. So... Cast another spell. Let's see. Where is the inventory? Wizard inventory. Here we go. Another ball of flame. We'll just discard that. So the little saving throw for the gargoyle. It's a 2. So 2 points damage. So that kills the gargoyle. Okay, that helped. The slow doesn't affect us anymore. So we can discard that. And we're left with 1 skeleton moving. It's 2 points. Right, let's roll it again. 2, okay. And then B defends with 2. Okay, B goes for 3, gets 2. Skeleton gets a 1, but that's still 1 hit point on the skeleton. So, okie doke. That is the time to draw. Whoops, wrong thing. I am always drawing the wrong things here. Draw, there we go. Amidst the old rags and tattered fur robes and soiled blankets, you find a collection of 15 gold points. Or 15 gold coins. Record on your sheet. Okay, I will. So we have 15 GP. And we will discard that card. Okay, then the dwarf goes traipsing in to find traps and immediately falls in a pit trap, which causes 1 point of damage. We'll say they weren't careful. And at the bottom, we can see if there's treasure. So we draw a treasure, and there's a wandering monster. So now the dwarf is sitting in the pit trap with a zombie. We'll just use a skeleton for the zombie. So they're both going to have to fight it out down there. So we Discard the card. The zombie gets to go. And the zombie gets a 2 dice. Misses. The dwarf gets to go with 3 dice. Gets 2 hit on the zombie. The zombie defends with 3. The zombie completely defends. The dwarf gets to go again. It's a hit. The zombie defends with 3. Defends. Okay, the zombie gets to go with 2. Gets a hit on the dwarf. Dwarf gets to defend. Oh, dwarf doesn't defend. Okay. Change BPs, and we get a 3. Okay, the dwarf is kind of hurt. And then the dwarf is going to get a go. So lead belly goes and misses. Zombie goes with 1. So the dwarf gets to try to defend. Does not. Okay. To 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring him in. Bring the wizard. Oregano, sitting at the edge of the pit, decides that the poor dwarf's had enough. And is going to cast a spell. And cast the last ball of flame. And we discard that. Now, I guess technically in this game you can... Oh, you can't use it against zombies. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. So it causes 2 body points. And 2 red die. It should be 2, not 1. Okay. There, that's it. Okay, so he casts a spell. And the zombie is killed again. Okay, and I guess that... I don't think they say anything in the rules that if you get rid of a wandering monster, I think you still get a game card. So, draws and gold. Okay, we find 25 gold. Let me write that down. And I like to keep the gold in the party all together. So we will discard that card. Okay. He's going to stand up, and he immediately crawls out of this hole. And I think he's going to crawl into either 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just roll. 1, 2. So he crawls into this one, does a trap check. And let's see, we can roll 1 die to see if he gets the spear trap. Nope. Okay, needed a skull. So that spear trap is gone. Okay, everybody else comes rolling in. And checks for secret doors, nothing. And there is a chest. We'll check the chest for traps. There are no traps, but oh, see, it is a trap. It's a trap. If a hero searches for treasure before the trap is disarmed, he will lose 2 body points, and the chest contains 144 gold coins. There's no other treasure in this room. Well, 144 is pretty good. So let's go back. So I didn't realize this. The dwarf decides to roll 1 die and gets it. So the dwarf loses another 2 points, putting him at 0. Now, I think it's a negative. Now, since the dwarf has been reduced to 0, and I did notice in my notes that they have a healing potion, so they're able to drink that. They get to roll a d6, and they get 3. So you can only do that. They can't. Nobody else can apply a healing potion to save them. So that is a downside. So I cancel off a healing potion. I'm trying to think if anybody has potions. Let's see. Going through here, the barbarian has a potion of strength, and that is it. The dwarf had a potion of defense. So we did have 2 potions. I wish you could buy. That would be a novel idea. Okay, there we go. So there's no other rooms. They've made 144 gold pieces, which is pretty good. I forgot to have these guys jump over. So basically, they all have to jump over to get in the room. So we're going to roll. We're going to roll twice for each one because they're going to have to jump over, and then they're going to have to jump back. So let's start with the barbarian. 1, 1, 2. So the barbarian jumps over, looks around, comes back. The dwarf can go one more time. One. Makes it. Okay, so first of all, the wizard took a point damage, 3. And the ill, oh, one more. Another one. Okay. And then the elf, 1, up, 1, 2. Oh, let me do that. 1, 1, 4, hit, 2, hit, okay. That's probably a bad habit that I get into. So if I do that and it really bothers you guys, let me know, where I have to replay stuff. It doesn't. Sometimes I just have to go back and do it. Let's do a replay. I'm just not that good at games, I'm afraid. I apologize again. Okay, now we need to probably heal some people up. The wizard's looking pretty puny. So we'll go back to the inventory. The elf can... Oh, elf doesn't have any healing. The wizard has some healing. I think water of healing. And that is 4 body. So we're going to cast on... The wizard is going to cast on themselves first. And that's going to bring the wizard up to... That should bring them up to 6. I think the wizard's max 6. Hero board. Body of 4. Okay. Change BPs 4. B's looking okay. The elf's looking okay. The dwarf is a little puny. Dwarf's at 7, so we'll use it. Cast another spell on the dwarf. Wizard is going to do another water of healing. This hopefully we'll find some more stuff in here. I don't know if I missed with this guy. I don't know if I missed the pulling a card. Oh well. So the dwarf, let's change his body points back up to 7. So he's good to go. Okay, everybody's refreshed. So we'll start again. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just go there. Next turn. Next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5. And oh, I forgot that everybody only moves 5 since they're wounded. So we'll just move everybody 5. They're going at the speed of the slowest member. And then back to here. So another spear trap. And roll. Skull would mean that B takes damage. Does not. So jumps aside and the spear trap comes out of the floor. Comes down here. 5. And shuffling towards the party out of the darkness is a zombie. Zombies move at a total of 5. Wow, these zombies move. So zombie moves in to attack. A zombie roll a attack of 2. Zombie gets nothing. Okay, B goes with a 3, gets nothing. Zombie rolls with a 2, gets nothing. B rolls with a 3 and gets a 1. The zombie has a defense of 3. Zombies defend. The 1, okay. Zombie attacks at 2 with 1 point of damage, and B defends at 4. Easily defend. B attacks with a 3 with a 2, and zombie has to defend 3. So the zombie took a point of damage. 1 body point of damage, because that was the excess. Didn't defend. I hope that's sense. Okay. Oh, and then we draw. Gotta remember to draw treasure for 15 more gold. Well, we'll have enough gold that we can maybe buy some armor. Stuff's so expensive in this game. Okay, comes over here to this room. and peeks inside. What's in here? Nothing. Okay. So the dwarf will move in, check for traps, and check for secret doors. Now this is frustrating because I don't think there is a trap, but there's no secret doors, so we can't get through anywhere. I think the party's going to pretty much explore this entire dungeon before they get done. Okay, let's see if there's anything. Nothing. Okay. Other than a. And I went ahead and online, I made a 3D model. I have an old copy of this game that's in really crappy shape. I mean, I bought it in a junk shop for way too much a number of years ago. And it ended up in being in pretty crappy shape. And now they've got the new version. I don't know how it is. I haven't really checked it out. So I played the old version, and then in the early 90s, when I was a kid, I say I was a kid, I wasn't much. Certainly a lot younger than I am now. And then I found some 3D STL file for all the figures, which I painted up, and you can actually print out the tiles on a 3D printer, which was kind of. But probably ought to buy a new copy one of these days. It's not terrible. It's $100. This was going on for several. I know when it was out of print, it was going for several $100 for an old copy. It was a little bit outside my price range. Okay, Heroquest. They check out this room, and there's nothing in it, so they go over here. And peek open, and they see another skeleton. I'm going to say the skeleton can walk. He's light enough to walk right across. So the skeleton attacks. They 2 die. Nothing. And B attacks with 3. Well, that's easily going to. The skeleton defends at 2, so even if they roll, no matter what they roll for 2 defense die, they're still going to have this extra die that does damage. So. And they have 1 hit point, basically, so they're gone. And I'm going to say that B, of course, rushes forward to the body of the skeleton to pick up their treasure and falls right into the pit, taking a point of damage. Well, hello, kitty. Okay. However, we've got 2 things. First of all, B does draw a card and gets a hazard. Well, this is a hazard on a hazard. So it's another, I'm going to say this pit trap does 2 points. It has spikes in the bottom. We'll just say that. And we discard it. That was for the skeleton. Now, he takes another point of damage. And we're down to 1. Oh, shoot. Okay. And then in the bottom, we're going to say, checks around and finds a potion of healing. Which she really needed, so 1 red die. Worth 1 single point. Okay. Okay, up. Change BP to 7. Okay. Okay, the yellow's the man. I kept forgetting that those are the first. The blue is the mental points, which you don't really even use it. So, kind of a distraction. I think in some of the later modules you did use it. That's not really used much in this introductory game. So we'll climb out. So 7. So we're better off than we thought. Okay, the dwarf will try to go next. We roll a die to see if the dwarf can hop across. Makes it. No, wait. That's a. I think. Okay, let's just say it's going to be a skull. If the skull is rolled, then the dwarf takes it. Okay, makes it. We'll roll a for the wizard, sorcerer, and then the elf. Okay, the elf takes a point. She ended up falling. Dwarf made it 5. The elf failed. Okay. We are now going to go here. Now, the wild thing about this game, not the wild thing. The thing about this game is that you can pretty much figure out that most of the big things are in the center. So we will go there. I'm going to move everybody around in the old conga line of death. And full of rear. Okay, and they know that the center area is going to be where the big bad boss is. So I think we're going to see if we can. I think the elf may need the potion healing. We want to use up our spells. Player inventory for the wizard. We still have a water of healing, which is 4 points, which we'll use. And it's on the elf. Let's see, an elf max is 6, so that'll take the elf back up to 6 for healing. And we discard that. And we are left ready for combat. Peeks in and sees a whole room. There's a mummy over here, there's 2 zombies, and there's 2 skeletons. So it's a room full of undead. The undead will attack. And it's also spells. I think we can do something here, because he can cast through that. He can cast into that. There's a line of sight that can cast through that door. So yes, he does have line of sight after checking the rules. Well, let's go back to our monster cards. And this is the big combat. So the final boss showdown. Skeleton will move. Let's see, Mr. Skeleton. He's got attack of 2. Attacks the barbarian with 2, which is 2 hits, and the barbarian gets 1. So the barbarian takes a hit. Okay, and then the other skeleton can't do anything. But the barbarian's going to go against the skeleton with 3 hit die, which has got 2 damage. Skeleton can defend at 2 dice and makes 1. So the other 1 has to is taken from the hit points, the body points. So that eliminates the skeleton. Okay, next, and then the wizard, the sorcerer, can go. Oregano the Mysterious. Let's see if Oregano has any good spells. Tempest. Spell creates a small whirlwind that envelops 1 monster of your choice. That monster will miss its next turn. Okay. Or sleep. This puts a monster into a deep sleep. I think we will cast Tempest. I'm going to go ahead and cast it. So the skeleton cannot do anything. So next turn, the skeleton moves. Wait, he can't move. Okay. Barbarian will move in. He'll move here. Again, the conga line will move in. And we cast the Tempest. And I don't really think there's really no zone of control for these guys. I don't think well, maybe they do have to stop at adjacent. I'll just assume they do. So Barbarian goes. Oh, this guy can move. I forgot that the zombies can move. And this mummy will move too here. So, okay, I forgot those guys were moving. Okay, Barbarian gets to go against, you got a choice here. We've either got this guy who's stuck, or this zombie. I'll fight against the zombie. The attack on a zombie 3 with 1 hit, and the zombie gets 3 defense. And defends. Okay, and that is the end of the turn. Let's see, he casts a spell. Oh, he can fight. He gets 1. and attacks this skeleton. Skeleton has a defense of 2 and does not defend. So that the Oregano is actually kind of the badass here. He actually used his little staff and poked that skeleton to death. So that's pretty cool. Okay, we go to next turn. Get off a little bit here. Okay, this guy will move. This zombie will, or the mummy will move. So now we've got 2 zombies against the barbarian. Let's start with the zombies fighting. And they have an attack of 2. First one goes and hits 2. Barbarian defends at 4. So takes a point of damage. Okay, the other zombie goes with an attack of 2. 2 hits. Barbarian defends at 4 and defends completely. Okay, then the party gets to go. I'll start with the barbarian. Attack of 3 against the zombie. We'll do this one. 2 hits on the zombie. Zombie defends with 4 die and gets nothing. So with 2 hits, and the zombie has 1 body point, zombie's gone. Could try to do my magic poke, but I think Oregano, he's feeling pretty good. Sleep or Tempest? Don't think there's much I can do here. I think the poke's going to be about as good. Well, we'll do a Tempest. So we cast the Tempest, and the Tempest means this guy can't move. Now, I'm going to say, since this guy can't move, that his zone of control is not in effect anymore. Barbarian moves. This guy moves. Dwarf moves. And this guy moves. Okay. So the party moves. And the mummy can actually still fight. So the mummy does get a chance. And the mummy has an attack of 3 against the barbarian. Nothing. Okay. Now party can go again. And the barbarian's going to attack with 3 and gets 1 against the mummy, who defends at 4. Oh, the mummy didn't make it. So the mummy gets a point. Okay. Then the poke of death from the wizard. On here for 1. Misses. Okay, the dwarf goes with 3. Makes a hit. The zombie has a defense of 3 and does not defend. And that's the end of the zombie. He goes into a giant pile of ichor or ichor, whichever you want to say. And that leaves the mummy. It's his chance to go. So the mummy attacks the barbarian with a 3. Nothing. Okay, then the party gets to move. Dwarf's going to waddle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to jump on the table and cast a spell. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say 4, 5, 6, 7 to jump on the table. We'll just make it that. A lot of this time, you just have to make your rules up as you go along. So, but we'll let them do it. Okay, now I think the idea of having these static is surely these guys could jump on it. An elf could jump on a table, couldn't they? Let me know down below. Where was I? Okay, so Barbarian's going to go with 3 die. Gets 1. The mummy has a defense of 4 and defense. Okay, then the player inventory. The wizard has sleep doesn't work on zombie or on mummies. Okay, sleep doesn't work on the undead. The elf on the shelf has a hypnotic blaze. Okay, so they're going to cast Hypnotic Blaze. And let's see, that's a cast spell. So basically, with Hypnotic Blaze, everybody in the room has to roll 1 red die. And if they roll equal to or less than their mind points, they're unaffected. However, if they roll greater than their mind points, then they're paralyzed for 3 turns. Okay. So we'll start with the mummy. Mummy has to roll. If the mummy rolls a 1, they make it. Does not. Okay, the mummy's paralyzed. The barbarian. I think the barbarian started out with 2 mind points. Let's check. 2, yeah. I got him as 1, but her as 1. Barbarian rolls a 1, so the barbarian made it. I don't think it would affect the elf. Oregano, 3, makes it. And then finally the dwarf with... Everybody made it. Okay, so... Did I say the mummy? Did the mummy make it? I forget and all the... I'll roll for mummy again. 1. Okay, the mummy made it. Oh, mummy has a 0 mind point. Let's double check that. Mummy has 0 mind points. Yeah. Okay, so the mummy is hypnotized for 3 rounds. So round 1, move into place, move into place, move into place. Let's just whack it. Whack that mummy. This should be the end of the mummy. Okay, barbarian goes first with 3. It's a 1. And the mummy is unable to defend. So I don't think the mummy can use defense points. And I think that's the end of the mummy. It doesn't really say. So that is it. Now we're going to roll to see if there's any treasure. And we get a wandering monster. So a zombie. Where's a zombie? Comes into the room. Brains. And... Okay. So the zombie comes in. And we get attacks. And we'll say it attacks the elf. We'll let the elf take a little bit of heat. Zombie has an attack of 2. Misses, okay. And then the elf, what was the elf's defense? 2, okay. Okay, the barbarian B will go with 2 hits. And 2 hits, if the defense of the zombie's 3, so that puts the zombie out of action. Now, that's a discard. Oh, that's a return to treasure deck, okay. I think we can draw again. Yep, the zombie had 25 gold pieces. And we'll put that discard. E. The first hero who searches for treasure will find the Talisman of Lore. The Talisman is a magical artifact. Its use is explained on the matching artifact cards. So we are going to see who gets the Talisman. Where are we at? Okay, so the Talisman is on our game card? No, it's game. Yeah, okay. Hero spells, Barbarian Quest, Elf Quest, artifacts. There we go. Talisman of Lore. And I think we're going to give it to the wizard. That seems like something a wizard would have. It's a magical medallion which increases their mind points for 1 for as long as it's worn. And I don't think we even use mind points. I don't know why. It's, again, one of those Chekhov's guns, maybe. I don't know yet. So we'll see how that comes out. Anyway, that's what I've got. I'm going to assume the party's able to make their way out of the maze. I guess they would have to jump this passageway. But even then, if they hit point of damage, they're still going to make it. Yeah, I think they can make it back. No problem. Anyway, that's what I got this week. I really appreciate you guys watching this. I'll come back next week with 2 more adventures, and we will see you then. Thanks a lot. Bye.